All right, welcome back to another edition of the Full Arch Masters podcast. I'm Dr. Ryan Dunlop, live from Fresno, California, and I am joined by a very, very suspect crew of people. I know these people quite well. In fact, I work with them every single day. I'm joined by the Full Arch Masters team that helps me teach these amazing courses. So yes, everybody give the Full Arch Masters and give yourself a round of applause. So I have no script and I have no agenda for this talk because sitting with you amazing people is one of the best things that I do in my career. So I'm just going to sit here and just kind of freewheel discussion about this amazing year that we've had. Okay, so first let's do a little round table for the people who don't know each and every one of you. So we'll start with you, Jackie. Just do a quick little intro about yourself.
Absolutely. So my name is Jackie and I'm the marketing director, and I also am a treatment coordinator and a new patient liaison. So my role here is to basically teach the doctors in regards to how to market their full arch cases and acquire new patients and help with treatment coordination.
I'm Amy, and I'm the Director of Operations for Full Arch Masters, and I'm in charge of coordinating the course. Oh, sorry.
You're the blooper reel.
I am the blooper reel.
So
you made that blooper right now.
Yeah.
I'm Amy, and I'm the Director of Operations for Full Arch Masters, so I help all of our teams get signed up for all of our courses and help them throughout the journey of Full Arch Masters and get them in touch with the right people on our team, and I also help train them with their clinical with the clinical aspects, with photogrammetry, intraoral scanning, all things like that.
Great.
Okay. I'm Megan. I am the lab coordinator for Full Arch Masters Lab, and I help Dr. Dunlop manage the lab. I coordinate all of the incoming and outgoing cases, and I check all of the records for accuracy and completion, and I do all of the communication with all of the outside accounts, handle the money, and the HR, and keep all of the technicians on track.
Right. That sounds easy.
Hi. Well, my name is Patty. I'm Dr. Dunlop's treatment coordinator. I am also the front office coordinator, and I also help lead the administrative sessions during the Full Arch Masters flagship course. So I'm excited to be able to help patients throughout their treatment process and also help doctors and their team members learn the Full Arch process and how to present treatment and sell cases to their patients.
Hey, I am Raina. I coordinate cases going out to the lab. I help co-coordinate the clinic team, and I also do medication ordering, implant ordering, supply ordering, and I am kind of our halfway communication between all departments in our building. And then while I'm not doing that, I am here helping him out during FAM courses as a clinical trainer.
Beautiful.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I am newly Amy's assistant. So I'm the assistant to the Director of Operations. Okay. And I take care of a lot of the desk screw orders. I take care of, any of the outside orders. I get them shipped out. I'm the party planner, so I plan all the catering and our casino night. Been with Dr. Dunlop since 2015, since we started the practice.
Great.
My name is Christian, and I am Dr. Dunlop's back office coordinator. So I work with Raina to facilitate the training of the new assistants as they come in and make sure that the patient schedule is flowing throughout the day. I also have the extreme honor of helping with the flagship course that we have every month, as well as the advanced surgical course that we do a couple times a year.
Right. And apparently you are the rooster in this in-house.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's start with our admin ladies, okay? So you guys have been working in these Full Arch Masters courses all year. We are now at the end of our flagship curriculum. We have no more flagship courses scheduled for 2023. What has been your impression of your experience helping these admin teams over the course of the year? Jackie.
So for me, it's been really exciting just to see the amount of information that the people that come to the course in the admin room are actually gathering from us. They're making notes. They're seeing different ways that they can handle the different cases, the objections. It's really nice to see the growth from when they come into the office to when they actually are leaving the course. So it's really exciting to see that. And then on the marketing side of it, it's really amazing to see what they're learning in the admin room as far as that goes too. How to handle marketing. A lot of it on the new patient acquisition. They're learning a lot about how you have to really listen to the patient and gather their stories and the understanding of why it's important to take that amount of time and invest the call, to listen to the call. And so they really give a lot of good feedback on that. So I'm very excited about it, and it's been an amazing year.
Great. Well, Patty, you've trained a lot of treatment coordinators through Full Arch Masters, and you've trained a lot of treatment coordinators for me in the practice, including Jackie. So as someone who's done a lot of training for treatment coordinators, tell us a little bit about the importance of that role in a full arch practice and where a lot of practices lack in terms of developing their treatment coordinators into something that you see as a real asset to the practice.
Great question. That is a very, very important thing that we have tried to target with a lot of the doctors and treatment coordinators throughout this course. The importance of the treatment coordinator, it is integral to the full arch process, and one of the main things is because there is a huge shift that happens from being a part of a general dentistry practice versus a full arch practice. So now you're having to, I don't want to say deal with. Manage. Now you're having to manage patients differently. And also your systems have to adapt to that as well. So your treatment coordinator training has to be at the top of the list as an investment as well, so that your treatment coordinators are then able to present properly. There is a selling aspect to being a treatment coordinator that is a huge part as well, so training in that. And then an emotional aspect with the patient as well, that the treatment coordinator has a high emotional intelligence to be able to communicate properly with the patient.
Emotional intelligence, that's something that I'm working on every single day.
Yes, it is something that could be learned.
It's a
could
challenge
be trained
for a lot of people.
Yeah,
to
it
be
has
able to
to be-
connect with another human being in
Right.
the room with knowing very little about them,
Right.
and having them be uncomfortable, and you still have to impart comfort and wisdom and intelligence into somebody without a lot of preparation. So that's a real skill that has to be developed.
Right, and it can be, right? It's just becoming self-aware of where you're at in that process and learning and building on it. So that's something that we pride ourselves in is recognizing that for our treatment coordinators and offering suggestions and training throughout the flagship course.
Right. Well, Megan, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about your role in our lab. And you work with a lot of the FAM doctors as they come through the course, and you get to meet them and you see what they're learning. You see the techniques that we're teaching. When they get back to their practices and they're starting to implement this process into their practice, what are some of the biggest kind of challenges that you think that they face coming to this course, learning all this information, and then trying to integrate that as they get back? What do you see?
I would say that the biggest challenges for them would be the period of time in between when they learn all the information and then they leave and then they have to wait for their equipment and they kind of forget some information.
Right.
So they reach out to us and they need a refresher. So we definitely are able to plug in those blank spots with Zoom calls with our designers or calls with our finishers to teach them how to nest again, how to print again. Also, I would say another challenge I would say is them finding the right skill set in their employees and placing their employees in the right position within the lab.
Right.
So finding the right person that they're going to place in the position to be a designer or to be a finisher or to coordinate these cases, because a big challenge is to find someone who can coordinate the lab properly
In their lab.
internally. So you have to know how to organize the files so that you don't have to communicate with your designer. They know exactly where to find it.
Right.
You have to know how to have a system for lab slips so that there's not walking around the lab. Everything is just all in one place. Everybody knows how to use the lab software. Just dialing in those
clinical teams that come through Full Arch Masters. You're with them in our live patient sessions, which many docs say is one of the highlights of the course. They get to see our workflows and our technology live on real cases with real patients. And so that is always something that people say is a strong point of this curriculum. You two spend a significant amount of time working with them with intraoral scanners and photogrammetry scanners, facial scanners. What is that process like, and how important do you think those live patient sessions help you teach these teams the Full Arch Masters workflow?
It's very important. It's kind of hard to do everything on a model. Mm-hmm. So there's factors that don't always apply to a model. So doing the live surgery on day one and then doing the clinical session on Wednesday, it's crucial to seeing how the technologies that we use are used in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super important. What about you, Raina?
It's very important for teams who are barely starting to do transition from an analog flow they want to be here to do a digital flow. And some of the people who do come through our doors, they have no idea how to hold a scanner and how to maneuver it, what's good record taking. And we, like Christian said, we use these models and they're not the best sometimes because they're so reflective that we kind of show them the basics, and then having them to do the hands-on, it prepares them to take it home. And if wherever they end up using, sending their cases, whether it's our lab or any lab technician that they use, they can acquire the accurate data that they need for it. And I know assistants and doctors, they're like, well, who does the scans? Well, anybody can do the scan. You just got to learn it. And if you don't know how to use it, you still got to try.
Right. And if everybody understands all the steps, then everybody can kind of row the boat simultaneously. And if only one person knows this and one person knows that, it's really hard, especially if someone's out sick or if somebody doesn't work for you anymore or gets transferred departments. And now it's like the whole system falls apart. So I agree, cross-training and understanding the process is super important. So I have a question. So none of you started your careers in either dentistry or certainly not in full arch dentistry, and certainly not in full arch masters. So tell us a little bit about your trajectory, right? So where you started and what you think about being part of this organization now, because a lot of people come through this course and honestly, they're in the beginning of their careers. They maybe just finished dental assisting school, or they want to become a lab technician, or they're a doctor who's only out of school for a year or two and they want to get into this. You guys live this every single day, and everybody who comes through the course is like, wow, your team, Dr. Dunlop, is fantastic. You're amazing. And you guys deserve credit, but you didn't start here, right? So tell us a little bit about where, like, your trajectory and how it feels to be part of this organization. Patty.
Sure. So I got to start out in dentistry as a dental assistant prior to working with you, Dr. Dunlop. And I did it for a very long time. I managed a general practice for about 11 years. And I ended up going to business school, got my degree, started applying to different positions. I wanted something different, right, is what I was looking for, something that didn't feel mundane, right? Dentistry, that could tend to happen. And this position opened up with Dr. Dunlop being a treatment coordinator. So I applied, I did the interview process, and I was excited. I was excited to get to learn about Dr. Dunlop's clinic and implant dentistry, and especially full arch. So it was new for me. So I accepted the offer, and I've been with Dr. Dunlop since. Throughout working with Dr. Dunlop, there's something very specific that I see in him, which is he's always interested in the newest technology, the newest systems, the newest process, and it's to benefit the doctors, but most importantly, it helps benefit the patients as well, right? It makes the whole full arch process easier, better. Again, it's a very emotional process that the patient's going to go through. So just knowing that he's always trying to stay up to date with the newest technology and systems, it gives me a sense of pride as well with the job that I do, and it allows me to grow as well within the company. And then being a part of Full Arch Masters training course, I've always wanted to train, right, and show other people how to do, whether it be my job or any position. So it allows me to grow within that as well. So just being able to train and show other people what we do to make their jobs easier too. Cool. I enjoy it.
Let's go back to Raina. So where'd you come from, Raina? Humble beginnings.
Yes, so I was raised in Dinuba, and it's like a smaller community than here in Fresno.
Smaller than Fresno.
Smaller. We only have one Little Caesars there.
One
But it's a very small town, and you really have to branch out to where the opportunities are. And even though it's a long commute, I first actually started interested in the dental field just because of my cousin, because I'm like, oh, my cousin's doing it. She's like my favorite cousin. And I'm like, man, if she can do it, I can do it. So then I jumped on and I tried getting into the dental program, like about that. It was my third time that I had tried. And I went to orientation knowing the wait list. I was waitlisted number 7. And I'm like, there's no chance. And by chance, I was able to complete the the program, and unfortunately I was not able to extern here, but it was not the right time until later on. Actually went to school with Megan, and she actually introduced the topic about you hiring to me, and I was more than excited to come apply because I didn't know if I was going to get hired. But I did start off here 2 months after post graduation from the dental assisting program, and I was a assistant learning. I did not know anything. I didn't know how to hold an instrument. Then scanners were introduced. Then photogrammetry was introduced, and slowly I started to learn everything. Actually, when I first started, we did analog flow.
We did?
Yes.
Good. Sent chills down my spine. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jig and
Jig
trace.
and trace.
That's my dark sordid past. Those records are sealed and we don't talk about it. Megan.
So when I started going to college, I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was going between nursing and becoming a dentist. And I really wanted to be a dentist. I remember even as a little girl, I used to talk about wanting to be a dentist, and like my mom, my aunt, everybody used to say like, Megan loves teeth. And then I actually went through the nursing pathway, and I just decided it wasn't for me. I worked in a nursing facility for about a year, and part of my job was to help residents get ready, and I would see them struggle with their dentures, and I would have to clean their dentures and scrub their dentures and help them get dressed and shower and all of those things. And I remember they hated their dentures.
That was like stuck in your head.
Yeah. So one day I came home from work and I told my husband, like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go back to school. So just like Rena, we went to the Reilly program together for dental assisting. I loved it, and I got placed in your office as an extern.
Oh, that's right, you got the spot. She didn't.
Yeah. And when I was placed in your office, I had no idea it was a full arch practice. I just thought general dentistry, and I was in for a big surprise. You actually placed Rena and I as surgical assistants together. We were Team Reagan.
Reagan, yeah. Reagan.
And it was a lot to learn. It was analog. But I just remember the rewarding feeling of seeing the patients so happy and hearing their stories when they came in for their new patient consults and seeing their personalities change. And at that point it was like, root canals, fillings, crown preps, like, what's that stuff? And like, once you go full arch, you don't go back.
Oh. I might have to put that on a t-shirt.
I love what we do here, and now I'm on the lab side of things, so I don't get to meet the patients and see the stories, but it is very rewarding for me when we do immediate loads for outside accounts and they send their same day photos with their after pictures, and you can just see the people smiling through their eyes.
Right. And the team, the docs,
yeah.
Everyone's just
everybody's
elated,
beaming, and it feels so good to be a part of that, even if we're in the background.
Right.
So I love it here.
Awesome. Lori?
Well, I graduated 41 and a half years ago from Reilly College as a dental assistant. I worked as a dental assistant for about 5 years, and then I moved to front office. And then I did front office until 2 months ago, a month ago. And then I transitioned over as Amy's assistant, and I love it. I love dentistry. When I first interviewed with Dr. Dunlop, I told him that I wanted to be in a progressive dental practice.
Sorry to disappoint.
I know. I got what I asked for.
And then some.
And I love it. I love seeing how it changes people's lives.
Right.
I love how they come in and they're like this and they don't want to talk and they don't want to smile, and then we get finished with them and they're just beaming all over the place. Can't stop smiling.
True. Miss Amy.
Well, I was going to college, City College, for a while, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was wasting my time there, or I felt like I was, so I talked to my parents, and I was like, I want to quit school. So I quit, and I worked 2 jobs, and I met a boy, and he introduced me to his aunt who actually ran the Reedley College dental assisting program, and she got me interested in dental. And I actually started it not knowing if I would like it or not, and then I just fell in love. So I graduated from the Reedley Dental Assisting School in 2013, and I actually externed with this, I don't know, this really young guy. It was very progressive.
Nobody.
But I externed with you when you were an associate, and then when you decided to start your own practice, you asked me if I would follow and come join you, and I took the leap and came with you, and then I've been with you ever since. I think I have helped out in almost every job position in the office at this point. I've been chairside with you doing surgeries and assisting. I've treatment planned when needed. I've stepped in and did scheduling in the front office for a while. Then I shifted back to back office and coordinated the back office and helped run the back office. And then you started doing some smaller courses and stuff. And you were like, hey, Amy, I'm going to have you help me with this stuff. And I've kind of just been your throw it at me and I run with it type person. So I'm very much a go-getter. So you were having me help with that. And then it just kind of took off from there. And now I'm with Full Arch Masters, and I'm loving it. I love getting to see all of the patients' lives that we're changing, especially through our courses and stuff, for people who normally wouldn't be able to have this type of life change. It's very rewarding to see, how happy they are and just their better quality of life that's becoming, coming from this, and it's been great, and I just love it, and I can't wait for 2024. I'm excited.
Sounds good to me. Sir?
So, unlike Megan, I wasn't thinking about teeth when I was younger. I definitely did not think that I was going to end up in dentistry. And for whatever reason, when I was moving to California, I was looking at San Joaquin Valley College, and I was looking at the dental assisting program, and I started it. And from the first time that I touched the instruments, I just knew that it was what I wanted to do. So luckily, I got an externship position here, and I had the awesome mentors of Amy and Raina. And one of the first weeks into my externship, I had done a little bit of research. I asked you what was Full Arch Masters, and you said it's a secret society. I knew that it was a society that I wanted to join. And I also wanted to be a hygienist too, but I just love what we do here that much. Like it's been mentioned a couple times before, that the feeling that you get when you give these patients their teeth and you see them crying with their spouses and their loved ones, and just how much it changes their life, is a feeling that can't be compared to anything else. So now that I'm in Full Arch Masters, I want to stay forever, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Awesome. We're lucky to have you. Jackie.
Okay, so my story is that I was in marketing for 12 years when I came to work for you, which is basically when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
I had done business with you before as I was selling you marketing. And then what happened was you gave me the opportunity to work here, which I was very grateful for, because I love everything medical. And so putting together what I love with marketing and being able to work in a medical field, it was really just something that made me happy. And with Patty teaching me everything there was to know about dental, I just kept falling more and more in love with it. Mm-hmm. And so being able to meet with the patients and the treatment coordinator side of it, and seeing how the patients' lives are going to be changed, and still being able to do my marketing, which I loved as well, and just seeing the lives changed is just so rewarding. Seeing how they come in and they're so broken, they're so destroyed because their teeth makes a big impact on them. And seeing from being able to take the calls from the minute the relationship starts at the first call is true, and so being able to see it from the time that they call all the way to the end, like Christian said, when they're delivering the teeth, and then that smile and the change of their life. I absolutely 100% love my job. And then the nice thing about it too is the Full Arch Masters, being able to be over here with you on this side of the business. I love that. I love my job. So
I know you tell me like
I
every
know. It's so true, though. Not many people can actually say that.
Yeah.
So on the full Archmaster side of it, what's really great about that is because it's allowing me to do teaching, which I love too.
Mhm.
So being able to see the doctors, being able to take tips back with them, help them to increase the revenue just based on marketing that we do together.
Right.
And also being able to teach them about the importance of vetting the calls and just the whole thing that we teach here. It's just rewarding from the patient all the way through the doctors and the admin team. So
Right.
I could not be more happy.
Cool.
So,
Well, I share your
my job.
enthusiasm.
thanks.
All right, I have a really tough question. You can only say one thing. Okay, so I want to be the thing that comes off the top of your head. Patty, what is your one most favorite thing about Full Arch Masters?
My one most favorite thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard.
I know.
Just one.
What is your one thing that we do that you enjoy the most?
I think it's what warms my heart. Like every day I try to find something that gives me that oh moment.
Mhm.
And it tends to be when I either get to see a patient get their new smile. And
Okay.
that just brings everything together, all parts. Right?
Okay,
Everybody's
so
portion.
delivery of new smiles.
Yes.
That would be part of our clinical sessions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it can be something that we physically do in events or something we do or a part of it. Raina, what's your favorite part of Full Arch Masters?
Geeking out.
Geeking out. Using technology.
Yes. Fam geeking.
Fam geek. Hashtag fam geeking. Megan, what's your favorite part of Full Arch Masters?
I would say that I like to see the doctors get really confident at doing full arch cases
Okay.
after they come here and they spend a week here with us and then they leave and they utilize us for their lab cases.
Okay.
I can see when they start to be like, oh, I got this,
Okay.
and they start sending their pictures of their final deliveries, and that's exciting for me.
Perfect. Lori, what's your favorite part of Full Arch Masters?
I enjoy seeing the doctors and their teams come in so excited, ready to learn, and by Thursday, they're ready to go home and do it.
Right.
So,
Okay. So transferring that energy from anticipation to implementation.
Yes.
What's your favorite part?
I'm going to say the camaraderie. So,
Okay.
like the relationships we're building between doctors, bridging that gap for Full Arch between docs and giving them the support that they need.
What's your favorite part of Full Arch Masters, Christian?
I would think the exposure to all these different technologies and getting to expose the attendees to the stuff that might seem common to us, but that some of these offices don't quite have.
Mhm.
And they're trying to get into that area, but they just need a helping hand, which we give them.
Cool. Jackie, what's your favorite part?
Okay, so mine also goes with clinical because I love seeing the patient having the teeth delivered and basically the emotional, what's happening right there in the moment, but also standing outside the door, looking in and seeing all the doctors, seeing what they're able to do for their patients and how they can change, patients' lives. It's a really beautiful picture, and I love that. That's my favorite.
All good answers. You want to know what my favorite part of Full Arch Masters is?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, everything that you mentioned is definitely on the list. But honestly, my favorite part of Full Arch Masters is watching you guys thrive. So when I think about when I graduated from dental school, I was just like everyone else, just a dentist, right? I'm just a dentist. I never had dreams of grandeur or anything like that. I never had dreams of being on a stage or being a noticed person. But I always wanted to make a difference in my profession. Without necessarily me standing over your shoulder even, or even being in the same room, to watch you guys be able to take what I've given you and then give it that energy to somebody else. That's my favorite part of FAM, is the community we've built within Full Arch Masters, and then to watch you guys go out and positively impact other people's lives. And to think that all of that came from just a singular idea in my mind 10 years ago or 15 years ago. That is my favorite part, is to see what it's all benefited to you guys in your lives, and then how you're able to pay that forward to other people. So that's why I wanted to, do this podcast and just express my gratitude to all of you for working so hard. We've just finished 2 weeks of Full Arch Masters. Like, that's a lot of work, a lot of energy. So, on our final thoughts, tell me what has been your impression of these 2 weeks of FAM, and then what are your expectations for the rest of the year into 2024?
Okay, so just the excitement in the air of people wanting to learn, all these eager people coming in, whether it was the doctors or the admin team. They just really thrived in learning so much information, note-taking, asking questions, so they all really engaged in the course, and I think they have a lot to take back. And I'm very, very excited about what 2024 has to hold. I think that we're going to continue to add things that are going to even be more exciting, more courses, more advanced surgical courses, etc. So I think it's going to be an incredible 2024.
Awesome.
I think that Full Arch Masters is going to do very well in 2024. We sold out for 2023 in 2022, and we opened 2 additional courses because of how many people want access to the information that you're giving. So I think that we're going to have a phenomenal advanced surgical course in a couple weeks, and then a phenomenal year next year.
Great.
Mine kind of goes off of what Christian said. You and I had a conversation one weekend, and we were sold out for 2023, and we were looking for spots for docs who were really interested, and we threw this week's course in, and said, okay, we're going to do a back-to-back, and I thought we were crazy at the time, but I think it has honestly gone phenomenally well, and it has been a lot of energy, but it's been great, and I'm excited we've got about a week and a half before we go to our advanced surgical course in Arizona.
You said 3.5.
No, it's like a week
No,
and
it's
a
like
half.
2 months away.
No, it's a
No.
week and a half.
It's a week and a half. And then we go to Arizona for our advanced surgical course. And honestly, I am ready. I am so ready for us. I feel like our team is very ready. We did it in a new area in June, and I feel like we are just more acclimated, and we're just ready to take on Arizona and do it again. And then we've got our design finish course in December. That's going to be a great course set up here in Fresno. And then 2024, I'm ready to, let's fill some courses.
Open the floodgates.
Yes, let's open the floodgates.
Lori?
I'm excited for the rest of the year and for 2024. When I found out we were doing 2 back-to-back weeks, I went, okay.
And you happened to be on vacation for 2
And
weeks
then I was
before
on
that.
vacation for 2 weeks before that, so still trying to get all my stuff done and do a 2-week vacation. That was interesting. But we got it done. It actually, these 2 weeks has turned out great, better than we expected.
Right. Such different groups, huh?
Yes,
Different
yes.
groups,
Very
but
different.
so
It's been
great
very-
in their own ways.
Yes,
Right,
You know,
absolutely.
like these 2 groups were totally different in personalities.
Yes.
And but they all learned the same thing, and they all had the same shared experience, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing how many different types of groups we get, because every one of them is so much different from the last one.
Right.
And they're all great, and they're all, I can't think of any bad ones that we've had.
Right.
They've all been great, so I'm really looking forward to 2024.
Awesome. How about you, Megan?
2023 Full Arch Masters, I feel like it's been so much fun. We've made lots of memories. We've met lots of people from lots of different states and even out of the United States, and it's been fun just to get to know people and build a rapport and see how they see California and things through their eyes and what's familiar to them, and just meet new personalities.
Right.
And I'm excited for Arizona and Florida, and next year's going to be even probably bigger, better, and I'm just excited to make more memories with the team.
Cool. How about you, Raina? You did a lot of scanning in the last 2 weeks. Are your forearms sore?
Well, shout out to our Trios 5s that worked wonderful. They did a beautiful job. I think it was a good ending to the FAM year of our flagship courses. Just the sponges in everyone's eyes that you can see they're trying to learn what we're doing and grasp it. I had so many questions, and I love questions because I like using my eyes because I talk with my eyes to communicate. So I was like, you need to take this back home. But this year it was a very straightforward year. Like, I feel that our systems are spreading and people are wondering some people didn't know who we were. And I was like, they didn't know this community existed, and they were very grateful that we were able to be an open book to them. And that's what I always explain to them. We don't have secrets, and it's no longer a secret that FAM is
Where it's at.
The secret's
No
out.
more secret society.
Patty,
Yeah.
last 2 weeks in 2024?
Last 2 weeks have been challenging
Mhm.
and exciting, and we all, I think, love to be challenged. We were kind of sad, right, as we were taking our last photos. Oh man, it's over,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
bittersweet, but it's been really good, especially these last 2 weeks. Getting to know people is one of our favorite parts too. Creating connections with their other doctors' teams, other doctors, and it's been really, really good. And I feel like as other people are learning, right, and we're training, it also helps us improve, right? We get to realize that there are probably systems and things that we want to improve on. So 2024 is where we would implement a lot of these new things, and I'm excited for 2024 and revamping and offering all new systems, procedures to the admin team that we can share.
Awesome. Well, so we're here at the end of our 2-week FAM extravaganza, as I called it. So it's a time to unwind and relax. I'm just kidding. You have patients you got to close for Arizona.
Yes.
Start opening registration for 2024. There's about 75 text messages on WhatsApp you need to respond to. Clinic, there's 17 patients that need scanning. Lori, order the food for 4 more courses. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Full Arch Masters podcast. I'm Dr. Ryan Dunlop, live from Fresno, California. At the conclusion of our 2-week FAM extravaganza, we have done back-to-back flagship courses for the first time ever. That's a major accomplishment for me and for my team. I think all the reviews that came back were 5-star. And so we clearly executed our goal, and I think that everybody had a wonderful time. So follow us online for a list of all of our courses, fullarchmasters.com. You can find us on all these social media platforms, and we look forward to meeting you soon. Honestly, embrace the digital workflow, embrace Full Arch Masters, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.